Hello and welcome to me decluttering my entire house room by room until every single space has been gone through. I stumbled into this journey in November by just wanting to go through our toys before Christmas was coming around and somehow landed on doing the entire house, but there are no regrets here. If you want to check out all of the progress that I've made, I've been posting every weekday from the end of November all the way through December over on Instagram. But today I wanted to show you a more in-depth look of what that process looks like and give you some insight into my decision making and how I'm doing my declutter. Today I am sharing the bulk of the kitchen as well as my master closet and a little bit of a life hack for stuffed animal storage. So if you are drowning in stuffies post-Christmas, stick around and I'll show you what my trick is for that later. Right now I am starting in the kitchen, and when I'm doing these declutters, what I like to do first is to take everything out of the space. So these cabinets I'm doing slightly differently. Normally as I'm pulling things out, I'm already sorting them, but I just wanted to get everything out on the counter so I could just kind of see it all. But like I mentioned, I've been going through every room of this house and I've gotten it down to a science. What I have learned works the best for me when it comes to decluttering is to start by sorting things into pretty much 4 piles. Sometimes you can condense that down, but 4 basic piles. So we're gonna go with a trash pile, a keep but goes in another room pile, a keep but stays in this space pile, and a donate pile. To make it really easy, I will start with the trash bag. Like I said, I'm doing it a little bit differently here, but that's mostly because I have to film it as a separate video. You can't see my other cameras off to the side, so I'm like filming this for 2 different things. But normally I will start with a trash bag and I will start with a laundry basket. So with the trash bag, as I'm going through, the first thing I want to pull out is all of the trash, because that will just clear up what you can clear up right away what you need to go through. So that narrows it down really quickly. The next things you just have to do is decide what you are keeping and what you are donating. And I don't have a hard and fast rule. I like to be very ruthless with what I am getting rid of. That's just me. I did learn a little technique on TikTok recently that I'll share here in a little bit for how to make your decisions. Honestly, I feel like it could be a lot worse. It all fits on this counter, but the gross parts are inside of the cabinets. I can't see up there, so you guys will have to tell me what it looks like. There's so many high spots in here that we can't reach. The things that Nick primarily uses we'll put up a little bit higher, and then our everyday things stay lower. Now it's time to go through a declutter. I've got a lot of expired things to go through. I need a new spice system, but that's not happening today. Today we're just decluttering, cleaning, and slightly reorganizing while we put it back. And then we'll figure out a better system for the spices later. All right, let's talk about what to get rid of when you're decluttering. I feel like for the kitchen, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit easier of a decision. If it's expired, it's going in the trash. That's a non-negotiable for me. I actually didn't find any spices that were too crazy. I think the oldest expiration date on this was 2019. It was a balsamic vinegar that has somehow made its way from, I think it's made its way from Chicago. We've moved 3 or 4 times since then. And I assumed it never expired. But lo and behold, it does. And it is now finally gone and out of our pantry. When it comes to everything else, though, making decisions can be really hard. And one of the things that I saw on TikTok recently, and I wish I could remember her name. I want to say it was Audrey. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But she was a professional organizer and she was talking about giving yourself a 3-second rule when it comes to decluttering. So you need to pick something up and decide within 3 seconds if you are keeping it, if you're getting rid of it. If you hover for over 3 seconds, she says it's an automatic keep. For me, I like to lean on the side of getting rid of things. I'm trying to get rid of this mindset that like I might need it, this over preparedness. I have found that through getting rid of all these things, there's not one thing that I've regretted and one thing that I've been like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have kept that. I don't think I've ever encountered that. So I know myself, I do so much better when I am not living in clutter, and I'm doing myself more of a favor by saying goodbye to things than I am by holding on to them and keeping them because I might use them. Also, ultimately in my head, I have this kind of like, if I haven't used this in a couple months and it's not a seasonal item, I'm saying goodbye to it because we're obviously not using it. And now that I've gone through everything and I've decluttered everything, we use the things that we use so much more, and we're able to use them because they're there and they're functional, like they're sitting there in their place and I can find them. This is gonna function so much better for us. We've got cups that we usually use, fancier cups, baking mixing bowls, other mixing bowls, strainers, salad spinner. Those are more like for the summer. This one's done. This one's next. I wish I had a fancy Tupperware storage idea for you, but I don't. We've just stacked them here. Those are the ones that Nick primarily uses, and then I've got my Rubbermaid stuff that I like to use down in another pull-out drawer. I'm done going through this area now, giving everything a little wipe down. I had a good box full of things to take over to donate, and it feels so much better. I feel so much satisfaction from dropping boxes off of the donation pile. I love the idea that someone else can get more use out of an item than I can. And also I love the feeling of my house feeling lighter. And I think what it really comes down to is making sure that you are being intentional after you've decluttered about what you bring into your home and making better decisions. So I'm over here now in this was really just the whole junk area. This cabinet up here was full of very random things that we usually use outside or did not have a place for. And so I'm pulling this all out and I'm trashing some of it, keeping some of it, and it came up for a few minutes from work, and I have like a pile that I'll keep to ask him about if he's ready to say goodbye to any of these things. I think that I am better at getting rid of things than him, so I usually have an area that I will run by him. New day, I forgot to film the after, but now I can show you both cabinets. So here is this cabinet all organized. We've been living with it for a while now, so it functions well for us. This is kind of the random cabinet. Most of these things are used for the griddle outside, my cast iron, our little chopper, and then extra hot sauces and coffee. And here is mostly coffee area slash just things that we use pretty much every day. Got my Nespresso pods organized on the wall over here, coffee syrups, milk frother, grinder, Nick's protein things and vitamins. These are the cups I use for my coffee, and then extra cups up there. This little system was nice. I found this on Amazon. I'll link it below. It came with several other rows, so you can put however many you want. I just didn't want it to start bumping into our little cabinet here. I really only use these pods right here. This whole little area over here, we've been planning for a while. We were gonna take this out and put in big pantry cabinets. Now it's kind of up in the air, so I decided just to declutter it and organize it as we currently use it so that it's not just causing problems. Down here are where we keep a lot of the girls' snacks that they pull from, paper plates, stuff for when people come over. And then I finally organized all of our junk drawers. That was a whole task in itself. Just going through all of this. That's where I keep the aluminum foil now. That was full to the brim. And this is extra sauces, straws, what have you. So for the most part of this entire declutter journey, my goal has not been necessarily aesthetically pleasing organization. I want to come back later and do some more organizing. That being said, we've gone through the girls' stuffies and it still feels like it looks a little cluttered in this room. I saw this beanbag chair cover that was the perfect solution for stuffies, blanket storage, anything soft and squishy that you want to hide. If you have an area or really your entire house that's feeling cluttered like this, you can fit so many stuffies in here. I was shocked how much room I had. I put everything in there and then I realized I needed to walk around the house and try to fill up this beanbag even more so. So this I found on Amazon. This was such a great quality. It's kind of like a corduroy pattern to it, and they've got a lot of different colors. This killed two birds with one stone for me because I wanted to get the stuffies off the wall and out of all the rooms. And the girls have been sitting and playing in their room a lot more often. They've been playing like video games on the TV, and they've been fighting over the one beanbag chair in the room. So this saved me from having to buy a beanbag chair, and it hid all the stuffies. So they're kind of, I've noticed the girls are a little bit, if it's out of sight, out of mind. So with all the stuffies in here, when they think of it, then we'll go and get it. But for the most part, they've honestly just been chilling on the beanbag and forgot they're all in there. So we didn't have to say goodbye to anything, and we've gained a beanbag chair. Win-win. So if you're looking to store all of your stuffies somewhere, highly recommend this. They can just unzip it and get it out whenever they want to. If you have a lot of Squishmallows, I put those kind of towards the top because it feels a little bit nicer. And I also tried to avoid putting anything in there that makes like noises or has like hard parts on it. But yes, highly recommend the stuffy storage beanbag. Moving over into my bedroom, there are always things that we can pick up in this room. I don't make my bed every day, but I have been trying to make it more frequently. If you've been following along with my declutter videos, you've noticed that I've been doing a portion of the video as a declutter, and then for the second half, I'll either be like restocking or I'll do just regular daily cleaning that happens in the house. So if you're wondering how I'm still decluttering, it's because I've been doing basically one section a day and then mixing that with the regular cleaning of the house that has to always happen and is never ending. There will always be laundry. There was always cleaning in the kitchen. Every day I do that. I just don't film it every day. We're making the bed in here, changing out the sheets, which I love doing because there's nothing better than fresh sheets at night. One of my guilty pleasures I've noticed is purchasing bedding anytime that it's on sale. I love to. I had to go through the linen closet finally in this decluttering journey, and I cut back a lot on what we had, but I did keep at least two sets of sheets for our bed. That way I never run into the problem where I change the sheets in the morning when I have all the motivation and energy and then realize at the end of the day that I never put it back on. I make sure that I take off the dirty sheets and I put on the new sheets, and then it doesn't really matter when I wash the dirty sheets as long as I get to them at some point. I don't know if that's a little hack, but that is how I have been getting so much better at making my bed. I used to be like, when I was in a little depression hole, it would be very, very far in between changing of my sheets. And now I'm pretty proud to say that I at least change them once a week. But if you're not there, that's totally okay, because I get it. Okay, I need to know your votes in the comments. Chop or no chop? I ask this probably twice a year just to make sure where we're at on that page, but apparently it's a hot topic. Do you chop your pillows, people? I chop my pillows. I chop them. I did hear recently though that chopping is out, but I have to go, I'm gonna have to go set up my pillows and see what that looks like, because to me it looks weird and floppy and unfinished when a pillow is just set there and there isn't a chop. I know it's obnoxious sometimes, but I love the chop. So let me know, are you guys chopping? And if you don't, what do you have against it? I am not judging you for anything that you want to do. I'm just happy that you're happy. Moving along, I sprayed my favorite linen spray on the bed. I will link it down below. I've got a couple of different scents from this, I think the brand is Frenchies. It smells so good. This is my favorite one. And I can smell it in the hallway and it makes me happy to go to bed. I mean, honestly, I'm already happy to go to bed, but it makes me even happier. I'm moving over to put my laundry away now. I have been in such a good laundry cycle that I am scared to jinx it, and I'm scared to stop, guys. A lot of times I get the question, where does my motivation come from? And it is genuinely fueled by my anxiety. I am so afraid of falling back into my old patterns of, I don't know, not taking care of the house or myself and laundry and all the things that need to get done, or just letting it pile up, because then it's really overwhelming. So I've been really good about doing little piles of laundry every day or every other day, and then getting them put away, which is the hard part, if we're being honest. I've developed methods that work for me. So for some of the drawers, the things don't get folded because they don't need to be, like my sweatpants and stuff. Sometimes I roll them up, sometimes I just throw them in the drawer. because nobody else is, I mean, I guess you guys are, but nobody else is seeing me in my sweatpants. So why do they need to be folded? I don't know. Whatever makes it easier for you to have clean clothes, because that's ultimately the goal. We just want some clean clothes. And then for the girls' drawers or for Britain's drawers, like I don't fold any of her stuff. So that's one of the ways I'm getting away with doing laundry, keeping on top of my laundry. All right, now that we've got a little bit of free time and we're just vacuuming here, I wanted to go through some of the questions that I had you guys ask over on Instagram. Just anything to catch up on. A lot of the questions are for links, so there are always links down to my description as well as in the bio of any of my social platforms. You can find it in my link tree on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you are, you can find those links. But if you have something that you're really looking for, leave me a comment and I will try to track that down for you. A lot of the questions I'm seeing here are on decluttering, so hopefully I answered some of those in the beginning part of this video. And there's just a lot of like, how do you do it all? And I always want to remind people that I cannot do it all. I've got a little village on my side, and recently I've switched things up in terms of like childcare. So what my schedule looks like, if you're really curious, I've got 3 girls and they are almost 7, 5, and almost 2. So we've got one that's in first grade, so she's gone 5 days a week. Then we've got one that's in a part-day preschool. She's getting ready to start kindergarten next year, so she's in preschool for a few hours, a few days a week. And for Britton, on those few days that Charlie's gone, my mom has her during the time that Charlie's gone. So it's a lot of juggling. There's still so much work that goes into just getting the girls to the places they have to be and all of the stuff that comes along with that. I realize not everyone's schedule is like that, so I just want to be really clear, like I cannot do it all by myself, but I do have to be very intentional with my work and my schedule. And whether that be filming, meetings, cleaning, editing, any of that stuff, I just have to squeeze that all into those few hours because I'm trying to be really present when the girls are home and not have to be doing work at that time. And for when they are here, I'm just aiming for nap times, or I'll have the girls chip in, or I'll just set them up with an activity. Our older girls are pretty good at entertaining themselves or playing together really well. But yeah, I really take advantage of those few hours a week when it is just me, and basically like that is all I'm doing in those times. So I will film from pretty much 9 to noon, and then the rest of the time, if there's still time after that, I'm spending editing. Okay, so now I'm into my closet, my side of the closet. I went through my clothes a little before Christmas, but now I'm doing the shoe side and then just the overall closet randoms that have landed in here. This is where I put all the Christmas presents during Christmas. So now that everything is out of here, I can really go through this and declutter it and clean it out. Luckily for me, I am not a big shoe person. I don't have a large collection of fancy shoes. I really just like my tennis shoes. For me, I've got house shoes, shoes that don't go outside. I wear them only indoors when I'm cleaning. And then I've got a section of maybe some boots and a couple other tennis shoes. But I am cutting them back. Everything that you see going to the trash bag is a donate pile. A couple more questions over on Instagram, mostly about our house. Have you DIY'd a lot in your house? And if you are new and joining, yes, we've been working on this house since we moved in almost 3 years ago, and you can see a lot of the rooms and the makeovers here on this channel. There's a folder, I think, marked room makeovers. So you can see us go room by room in this house. And really, I didn't even realize how much we've done to it until I saw a few pictures of the original listing of our home. And man, it feels like living here is like, okay, yes, we're used to it, but man, we've made such a difference in this house. It's crazy to think about. So yes, we DIY'd a lot of our house. The next question was about if I felt like this is our forever house. I don't know if I really believe in forever houses. I kind of feel like you never know where you're going to end up. But no, I don't feel like this is our house that we'll be in forever. Next question is about a cleaning schedule, and I wish I did, and I think I'm going to start maybe coming up with a cleaning schedule that I can write down. That way more people in our household can help out with it and know what the exact schedule it is. I think that we all in this house thrive on routine. I know I do. So if I like actually wrote that down and we were able to go through it, I think that'd be good for us. But right now I have a few things in my head that I like to have done every day or every week, but I don't do bathrooms on Wednesdays or something like that. Although I do think it would be really helpful. So I'll look into writing that down. But for me right now, like the most important thing is having the kitchen basically have a closing shift. So the kitchen is done at the end of the day, reset and ready for the next day, because that's the heart of their home. That's where everything is happening and coming and going from there all the time. So I like that I need the counters cleared and wiped off by the end of the day, and then the sink empty and the dishwasher full and running. That is when our weeks run the smoothest, smoothly. Our weeks run very smoothly when the kitchen stays in order, and then the rest of the rooms just picked up typically at the end of the day. This feels like a lot of talking for one video, but I've made a lot of progress in this closet, and now I'm just grabbing a couple other things that I know that I want to take to donate now that Christmas is come and gone. Last question I can squeeze in here is, what are your must-have / most used cleaning items? I feel like that could be a whole video on itself, guys, honestly. If I had to think of the things that I use every single day that are my most used, probably my wet dry vacuum, my Dreamy Tech wet dry vacuum. I use that every day. It's changed my floor, my mopping life and cleaning up spills from the girls. Dawn Power Wash, probably a number one. My Scrub Daddy, I use that anytime and all the time. I got an 8-pack from Costco, so I'm using those in every room of the house. And then my gloves. I can't clean without my gloves on now because I have sensory issues. So I've used my gloves all the time. I love my Dyson vacuum and all its attachments. Honestly, if you go on my Amazon in the description, you'll see a link to my most used cleaning products right there. I recently got a Shark Mess Master, and that has come in handy, especially in this decluttering process, because I've been sucking up messes that are just too bad to use any other vacuum on. And it's a little inside shop vacuum, so I've been loving that. Couple tweaks off camera and I vacuumed the floor. This is what we're left with. Went through everything over here, moved the laundry basket, and then I actually moved the full-length mirror over here. It's just kind of floating around our house. It doesn't have a landing spot yet, but I'm not ready to get rid of it either. And then I've got my shoes that I went through, and the pants, and everything is much more functional here. Is it aesthetically pleasing? No, but it's very functional.